Hey there guys, welcome back to the QPR Career Mode. Welcome to the start of season number 2, episode I think 19, and today it's going to be a very menu heavy one. For those who don't want spoilers for the last season or for the last episode, pause it here because there are going to be a plethora of spoilers inbound. You've had your chance. We are obviously starting our second season and we are starting it in the Premier League, and we need to get this team Premier League ready, because right now, let's be honest, it's not Premier League ready. This is a squad that would very very comfortably get relegated. Let's just keep it real. We have a lot of stuff to do here. We've got players to sell, we have players to buy, we have contracts to sort, all sorts. This is the current starting 11. Obviously, the only change from last season's starting 11 is that we don't have Karamoko and Dembele on the permanent, so that is one of the first things that we are going to do. Is going to be looking at picking him back up on that permanent contract. And obviously, we are not using Steve Cook. We have got Dunn in there at the moment, but I did say that we would be looking to sign a new centre-back. Also worth noting, Thomas is now higher rated than Kenneth Powell. Obviously, currently, they're both 73 rated because Powell's got the +1 on form. But Thomas starts at 73 without form, so I think it makes sense maybe to try and rotate him in and have him as our new starting left back, and Powell can sort of be that rotation. In the last episode, we talked a lot about players that we're looking to keep and sell, players that I'm looking to loan out and everything. So if you want that in depth, go check out the end of the last episode after watching the episode so you get an idea of what's happened and how the season finished. But today, I'm going to go sort out the contracts of the players we want to keep at the club, and then I'm going to go through a lot of players that we have scouted. I did a bunch of scouting off camera, read the comments in the last episode. So if I didn't address the players that you guys suggested, it's because you might have commented it after I'd filmed, so apologies for that. But all comments are super appreciated. I get to every comment that I can, and I make sure that if I can, put it into the episode, and I haven't already filmed beyond that point, then I do try and include your guys' input, because it's your guys' career mode too. You guys help out a whole bunch, and I really, really appreciate it. So obviously a bunch of players that we're looking to re-sign on here, and we're going to start off with Nardi. Nardi is a keeper I'd still like to keep. He was so impactful for us in the last season. I'm going to offer important just in case we get in a new starting keeper, but he has asked for crucial. That's fine. I will keep him to crucial if that is what he wants. I'd like to extend him by 2 years. That'd be quite nice. He might just want the 1. He's happy with the 2. I'm okay with that as well. It'd be nice if he tells me how much he wants, but he's not going to. Oh, that's really annoying. That's really annoying. I don't know what to put it at. I'm going to offer 12 and 20. Oh, I maybe shot myself in the foot. I'm going to throw that in, but I think it's too low. Okay. At least he wasn't throwing his toys out the pram. Let's see if he'll meet me at 20. And if I can lower that to 175. Just takes a bit off. Cool. He's happy with that. I'm fine with that. Nardi is re-signed. That's great news. It's also worth noting, obviously, he's on 20 grand a week. You look at some other players in the club. You've got Chair, who's going to be one of our highest earners. You've got Seller, who scored, 30 goals last year. A little bit behind on the old wages, so it might end up being that we need to keep a little bit of cash in their club to try and get some more contracts for players, even though they've got time on their contract, just so we don't start to get a little bit of a falling out within the club, because that can happen. Morale can drop because players are lower paid than they expect to be paid. We'll see what Clark Salter says here as well, because obviously good rating, a little bit younger than Nardi, has the slightly higher rated. I'm going to offer him a 4-year contract extension, which will take him to 5 years, which is great. Disregard the release clause. Cool. It's not much higher, but it is a little bit higher than I was hoping to see. I'll ask for 23 and 200, see if he's willing to compromise a little bit on that one. 27. Okay, the tension's still quite low, so let's go to 25 and see if he's willing to drop to that. Cool. Great. Again, meets us in the middle a little bit, which is great news. It just keeps a little bit of extra money for these signings, because obviously we're going to have money left over for signings anyway, but it would be nice to have as much as possible, which would be great. I said in the last episode that I wasn't going to transfer list Richards and Kelman until I'd signed new contracts. I think I'm going to scrap that idea, and I'm just going to transfer list them and let them go, rather than messing around with trying to spend money to make money. We'll just let them sell. I think that makes a lot more sense. Makes it a lot easier for us as well. He's on rotation, and he wants 19. Paul. I love you, fella, but let's meet in the middle a little bit here. You've got to drop it down. That's higher than the 19 you just asked for, mate. Let's not take the piss here, fella. 16. That's nice and in the middle from the... No. Let's go 18, 200. I don't want there to be 22 with no signing. I'll take 22 with no signing. That's great. That's actually all right. We'll take that. That's not too bad. I think overall he's going to have made a little bit of extra money, but that's not a problem. So yeah, I won't sort these two out. I'm actually going to add them both to the transfer list now. Kelman was already on there. But Larketch and Cooper will sort both of their contracts out. We're not sorting out Cooks. We transfer listed him as well. He is retiring at the end of the season, but let's sort out Larketch. I know he's going out on loan, but I don't think you can sort contracts while they're out on loan, so it's nice to get them done as and when you can. Add a 5 years onto his, hopefully. Yep, so 6-year contract. Things you love to see. 16, again, this is where being in the Prem can end up costing you so much money with these contracts. 17, no, you're taking less of a pay, my friend. You'll be more on more money than some of our top players. It's not ideal, 13, but that's okay. And then Cooper to round this one up here. Sorry for if there's a little cuts and stuff in the video, it's because I'm coughing away. I've still got this cough. Very unhelpful, and for that I apologise. But yeah, just seeing if we can sort these guys out. No release clause. 10. I'm going to ask you to just go a little bit under 10. Murphy, if that's okay, my friend. 8.5. Oh, you know what? Sod it. 10.5. Have it, fella. But you're going out on loan anyway. So that's the contract sorted for the players that we want to keep. When I say I've scouted quite a few players, we've got a long list to get through. Grab yourself a brew and let's get through them. Okay, we have a list of approximately 60 players here. 60. Like I said, I was a busy boy. We'll go through position by position and look at our options and work out how we want to attack this, how we want to address this, and where we go from here. Goalkeeper to start off with. Some really good suggestions I had of Rushworth, who I think is a really good little player and a good option. Brighton do have about 4 decent 73 plus-ish goalkeepers. Rushworth, I think, is either joint lowest rated or like second lowest rated keeper that they have, so would be an option to buy. Not crazy amounts of money either. 74 rated at the age of 23, which is a relative youth player basically for a goalkeeper. And 4.6 mil, you may be looking to be paying around 5 for him. I don't think that's too bad. Obviously the same rating at the moment as Nardi, but like 7 years younger, plenty of potential there. I think this could be a really, really good signing for us. I think he could come in and do a great job and sort of after a little bit of time go from competing to overtaking Nardi in goal, potentially. Obviously, Nardi was phenomenal for us, so I don't want to dismiss that one. Schwab, the main reason I'm thinking of not signing him is I'm probably saying his name wrong, and that would be quite embarrassing to do that for an entire career mode. But Schwab could be a really good option. 8 million for a 78 rated player. Obviously the same age as Nardi, but again, keepers do tend to play for a little bit longer. Cologne, by the way, got relegated. They're in the Bundesliga 2. So it would be a good chance for us to pick somebody up from not quite the top flight, but from a team that's sort of in that period of they are a team you'd expect to kind of see in the Bundesliga, but out of it at the moment, maybe looking to fight back up, but you could try and pinch a player or two from them. Bazunu is the current second choice keeper at Southampton. I double checked, and Ramsdale is permanently at Southampton in this save. So he's not the first choice keeper, Bazunu. So he would be potential to pick up here. 23, like we were saying with Rushworth, very young for a keeper, 75 rated, 8 million. So going to cost us a little bit extra, but could be a good pickup. And then Kelleher. Now, Kelleher is a goalkeeper I've signed previously in QPR Career Modes, or a QPR Career Mode, when he was not as well known. I don't think he played properly for Liverpool. He might have had maybe a cap, potentially in a cup at some point, but we signed him because I loved him. I thought he was a great, great player, and he's done the business in real life. Great, great option, and is actually the 4th choice keeper at Liverpool. They've obviously got Alisson. They've got the Georgian guy whose name I'm not going to try and pronounce because I will say it wrong. And they signed another keeper who I don't know, but he's 82 rated. So they've got 3 keepers higher rated than him. Kelleher could be a great option. I'm not fully decided yet. I think it's going to be slightly budget dependent as to whether we want to go cheap youth player that's going to be good long term, or whether we go for someone who right here, right now, walks into that starting spot, is a good chunk of our money, but it would be great. Next, we have right backs and fullbacks overall. Got some youth options from the free agent pool here, and I'm going to get some free agents. I am going to use the free agent pool. I'm not going to abuse it, and I'm not going to go ahead and sign crazy, unrealistic options. So, like, let's say, for example, Mbappe was a free agent. I'm not going to pick Mbappe up because that would be nonsense. This guy, however, Acosta, does not look 17. That's the only reason I scouted him. I just wanted to show you that is not the face of a 17-year-old man. That was the only reason he's there. I can get rid of him now. But let's go back to the right backs because it's going to throw me all the way down here. We've got Bauer, 18. He's from Austria and looks a really good little youth option with the possibility of also being able to play right mid if we needed him to, but we'd be buying him as a right back. Max Aarons, obviously, as we said last time, Bournemouth did get themselves relegated. Really good option to bring in. I think he's a real good talent, was really good at Norwich, has done decently well at Bournemouth and would be a really good person to pick up and throw into our fullback contention for the squad. Everton Santos, good player. Max Aarons, slightly better. It's worth a thought. It's not a huge issue that we need to address, but could be a good pickup for us. You've got Yavat. We've got Macon. I need to stop trying to sign players that I can't pronounce their names because I just look like a fool. 26 years old, versatility of being able to play left and right back, which was something that appealed to me because obviously quite often we had the need for somebody to come on and do either one of those positions. He could very easily do that. And my thought process was we train both Kenneth Powell and Everton Santos to be able to play both left and right back. So we've got good rotation between 3 or 4 of our fullback options. Just a thought for down the line. Egan Riley we were looking at last season. I would probably say now maybe worth us getting rid of. So I might end up going through and taking him out, and I will go through and take some players out because the longer your transfer option list, it can eventually slow down your save a little bit. So it's worth clearing those players out every now and again if your save ever starts to slow down. Heads up for you. Then we've got Wrench here. Really good option. Really great young player for Ajax. And again, look at that versatility. Right back, centre back and left back. My thought process is if I signed Wrench, he'd primarily be that centre back option we were looking to bring in, but then has the option to rotate out on the right or left if we need him to. And then we can bring in like a Dunn or an Amati to come in and play that central role if he's covering a wide position. I think he's a really good player. And in all honesty, he's my number one choice for this slot here. I think Aarons would also be a great shout, but I do think Aarons in like English career mode saves is probably quite frequent through the years. I've definitely signed Aarons in multiple career modes on different FCs and FIFAs. So I think Wrench might be a little bit more unique for this kind of save, but let me know your thoughts. We will probably make some signings today as well as a point of interest. On to the centre backs next. And there's a lot of them because this was quite a big role, I think, personally. This is one that I was really looking forward to trying to fill. Joshua Dames, good youth player, 71 rated at the age of 17. Could be a real good option for us to pick up. And actually, I'm really tempted with this one. And then I would let either Amati or Dunn go if an offer was to come in for them. I know Amati would have only been here for 6 months. That can happen. It can be that you pick up somebody on a free agent like we did. They're there for half a season or a season and then they moved on. It's not crazy unrealistic, and I think he would allow us to do that. Or, of course, we could bring him through, loan him out for 6 months and see what happens, see what his rating says, see what he does. And it could be loan him out. Oh, my God, this guy's great. Bring him back. Up next, we then have Omar Bamadil. Good little player. Seen him play. He's a good little player. What he doesn't have is a name that I can pronounce. So I should stop doing that. I might just call him Andrew. 72 rated, currently at Nottingham Forest. Again, another player who's formerly played for Norwich. Good little player. There's not too much I can say. They're 3.7 mil for a good little signing. He'd kind of be sort of on par with what we had with Cook at the start of the season, but much quicker. Good potential though. 23 years old. Real good chance to fly up. If we were wanting to spend some cash in this position, Murillo, love this guy. I think he's a real exciting player. Absolute beef as well. What a unit of a play. He's only 5'11". He's stocky as sin. And what a bruiser. Yeah, love him. Think he'd be a great player, but is half our budget. That's worth bearing in mind. O'Shea at Ipswich, who did get relegated as well, so they're in the Championship. Dara O'Shea, good talent, good player, 76 rated, 26, so not crazy youthful, but not crazy old, so good experience, sort of that middle ground. 7 mil as well, not too bad. Good in the air, power header, he's got the aerial as well, really lovely stuff. Greaves, hell of a player. What a talent. If Ipswich do go down, he will get moved on again to another Premier League club because this guy's insanely good. I love him. Jacob Greaves, baller. Would love to pick him up, and again would be spending a little bit of cash, but I'm kind of willing to do so for a player of its quality. Senesi, 28, 79. Again, looking at over 10 million, probably looking at between 13 and 15, I would imagine. Really good, solid option. And again, another option from a relegated side, as was Murillo and Andrew as well, because they're obviously Forest went down. So worth thinking about that because we're picking these players up from the Championship. Velatin Gomez, same kind of vibes as Greaves and Murillo. Good talent, good player, quick as well, very quick. Not crazy tall. Again, same height as Murillo at 5'11", so a shorter option, but a quick option. So just adding some pace to that back line, which I think at times was slightly missed last season. Then we have Chadi Riyad, a good talent, a taller lad, at Palace, 74 rated. Again, comes in with the option of growing. So picking somebody up who's a decent starting rating and get them through the season to progress to a good starting rating, which, again, he would be our second highest centre-back coming in, so he would be starting. So him being 74 is not a huge issue. Dragerson, I had a look. He played 4 times in this save for Tottenham last season. 4. I'd like to think at the age of 23, he'd probably want some more game time. Decent starting player, again, would cost us a lot and is on some big wages when you compare it to these other lads. You've got Senesi is the only player with any kind of similar wage to him. So he's going to be on some decent money, but could be a good pickup. Then we're on to Lloyd Kelly. Again, a bit of versatility, can play centre-back, can play left-back, but at 68 pace, I'd rather not play him at left-back. Thought this one was an interesting one. Always surprises me to hear that he's 6'3", because he looks like he should be short, but he's not. Taller lad, but could be a good option. Heavy money though. Calvin Bassey having a phenomenal time at Fulham at the moment. Really love watching him. He's rapid, he's stocky, he's a beefy lad. He is at Fulham, so there's that as like a would he sign? But we have signed players from Fulham before. We've signed players from Brentford before. It does happen. Bygones can be bygones. We've signed players from Chelsea. Stranger things have happened. Calvin Bassey would be a great pickup. Cabral is another player in the free agents. Good looking option, has aerial as well at the age of 18. Fair play to him, he's also 6'3". Joseph Gardner, English, 19, 6'2". I felt like this could be quite a realistic one to pick up alongside other things because he is a younger lad. But if I do pick him up, I for sure sell either Amati or Dunn because Gardner then stays, rotation on the bench, comes in and gets minutes every now and again. Yes, please. That'd be awesome. I think he will be one that we for sure sign. He's definitely a player that I'd like to add to the roster. Courtney House on a free agent. Interesting. Only 72 rated. If he was slightly higher rated, I'd pick him up. I think it's a really realistic signing. The fact that he is has a plethora of Premier League experience, has been at Villa and stuff for a long old time. Doesn't quite fit the profile of what we're looking for, though, sadly, with his overall, with his stats. Sadly, I don't think it quite works out. Tuanzebe, however, I think ticks that box phenomenally well. Really, really good option. Rapid, 74 rated, can play centre-back and can play right-back. So again, adds that little bit of versatility. And also, again, has had some Premier League experience, has been at, clubs like Man United. I'm fairly sure he was at Villa. Have I made that up? Maybe, but I don't think I did. But regardless, I think Tuanzebe and Gardner are the centre-back duo that we should be picking up. Youth prospect that could have real good potential for us, and then semi-experience without being crazy veteran status centre-back. Not a crazy difference in rating, one being 74, one being 73, but I think these are the two signings. So actually today, I'm going to make these two signings, but if there are other options that I've gone through for the centre-backs that you guys think I should have gone for, then we will look to sell Amati and Jimmy Dunn, loan out Gardner, and then pick up another centre-back option. So that is something that I would include. We were suggested Cabango. Cabango actually had gone from Swansea and is now a free agent. Could have been an interesting one. I just think the Tuanzebe and the Gardner option are slightly better options. However, if Tuanzebe or Gardner hadn't been there, I'd have gone in for Cabango for a free agent. Good option, 25. So again, experience without being a veteran, and would have fit nicely into this team and would have been a really, really good option for us. So thank you for that shout. Rob, as per usual, coming in with the top suggestions. Scales was another option that I looked at as well. He was actually the first person that I had looked at and shortlisted. Could have been a cool option, but I think we have slightly better options now Into left backs, we've got Leif Davies, which would be an awesome signing. I don't think realistic, and again, not a massive priority, but these are just some players that I was looking at from the Championship and from other options as well. We've got Vega, who we were looking at last season, and we ended up picking up Thomas, but Vega, great little player. We've still got Small there, but again, I'm probably going to clear him off the list. Into DMs, we have Sangare, would be expensive. Like I said, this was the signing I was looking to make that would be a marquee pickup here, like the big signing I want to make, because I think we lost the midfield battle sometimes a little bit too often in the Championship. In the Premier League, we simply cannot afford to do that. So we need to get somebody to come in there and be that rock in the middle of the park, whether it be a creative rock or just an out-and-out, you're not getting to my defence level rock. Sangare would be the latter, but would be expensive. But again, that's kind of what we're looking for. We then have Nicolas Dominguez, again from Forest, you will notice, and I'd said, I'm looking at those relegated sides. There will be a plethora of players from all three of those relegated teams because they tick the boxes, the kind of players we're looking for, and they're Premier League quality players. So they're players that you would expect to see join a Premier League side. And the newly promoted sides are often where those kind of players go. But yeah, Dominguez would be about 10 to 12 million pounds and could be a really good option for us. Would be able to kind of do a bit of both, pretty solid defensively, while also having creative capabilities. So worth considering. Danilo, again, phenomenal. I would imagine would probably go to maybe even a slightly better team just because of his rating and stuff, but worth a thought process. Billy Gilmore is at Napoli. He's just finishing off his loan at Wolfsburg, which I believe finishes in like the next day or two. So he would be available for us. Only got 12 months in his contract, and bringing him back to the Prem could be an interesting one. Maybe would be not quite the profile we're looking for. It was a bit of a weird one in comparison to some of the other options that you'll see that we are looking at. Not very quick, not overly physical, but has got that passing and dribbling capability. But it's a maybe more than anything for me on Gilmore. Tyler Adams, firstly, ticks our North American box as well, so would actually be really good in that sense. But again, 26, 79 rated, phenomenal player, ticks everything we're looking for, solid defensively, pretty quick, and would fit into that midfield very nicely indeed. So he'd be a really good one. We were looking at Timur Bonham from last season. Isn't going to fulfill this particular thing that we're looking for just because he's not going to really be a starter with that rating, but could still be somebody we'll look at down the line. Baleba, again, we were looking at last year, would be a more creative option, but I don't think fits the profile of massively what we're looking for right now. Crowell, however, I think does. Not crazy slow, good physically, good distribution and some good dribbling on the ball stats there. Not crazy expensive, 27, 76 rated, so it'll be our highest rated midfielder. I think that could work pretty well for us. Could be a good option. Same can kind of really be said almost exactly for Ozcan. He played 2 times all of last season for Dortmund in this save. So hasn't really been getting minutes, hasn't really been stepping on the pitch. Could do a job in the Premier League. I think that's a really interesting one and a really good one. Onyedika would be perfect. I'll be real with you. If I was to say who is the perfect person that I'm looking for right now, the answer I think is Onyedika. 12 mil, so he's not cheap, but I think this man would come in and would tick every single box we're looking for. Massively physical. We'd just boost the passing a little bit, but I think this is our guy. I'll be real with you. I'm not going to sign a DM, I don't think, today. I really want to leave that one in your hands because I think that will be our marquee signing for this season. So do let me know in the comments down below. But Onyedika, I think, could be pretty awesome. And again, for me, I think is the ideal signing for that position. But let me know in the comments. Archie Gray would be awesome. We were scouting him obviously last season because it was suggested, but obviously there was never any intention to sign him because it was never going to happen financially. Hasn't played a single game in the league for Tottenham in this save. So could be an option. Because realistically, the realism here would be that he'd probably come out on loan to us. But let me know your thoughts. Could be a maybe. Again, would be great. What a player. But maybe we're still within a seasons where we can keep realistic signings. We're not at the point where we've got like hundreds of millions of pounds and we can kind of sign whoever we want because we're a massive club. We've just got promoted. There are still some limitations. Creative players, obviously Dembele is the player we're looking at. That is who we're going to sign. So we'll also sign him now as well. I was looking at Hutchinson just because what a player that would be to sign, but we're buying Dembele. I said that I'd do that, and we're going to do that. Midfield options. These are some slightly more creative options. You've got Elliot Anderson, could be cool. I would train him to be a cam and play him there. but he'd be replacing Chair, and I'm not quite sure that I'm mentally ready to do that yet. Eric Sanchez, it would be quite unrealistic, I think, to sign him because he's 80 rated. Getting him on a free would be awesome, but I don't think it's crazy realistic. I was just looking at the fact that Curtis Jones was also there, but again, not one we can really afford. £30 million for a cam, which isn't really a position we need to improve right now. Cassidy, we were already looking at. CDM, that could be an awesome one for free. And I think there's more levels of realism to this than there is this Eric Sanchez, because he's 25, really good stats and everything, and could easily go to a plethora of different clubs. Paredes has played in big leagues. He's obviously played in the Serie A and has been playing there for a number of years at a high level. Joining the Premier League in the latter stages of his career at a newly promoted side while he's without a club, I think there's levels of realism to that. And I think that could be a really interesting signing for us. It would be a more creative than defensive signing. Not very quick, so he isn't really adding much pace to our midfield. But if we've added some pace behind in the likes of Tuanzebe and Gardner, then I think we can kind of get away with this. Could be an interesting one. Again, though, I'm not making that CDM signing today. It could end up we were missing out on Paredes because obviously I'm going to have to skip forward. But it's something it's a risk I'm willing to take for the sake of you guys getting some more interaction with this series as well. Jacob Brun-Larsen, I'm not going to sign him because we signed him last year in the career mode, but what a player he was for us. I just thought it was interesting that he was a free agent. Thought I'd show you. We were suggested Anthony, but again, left mid isn't really a position we're looking for because Sato has been so good for us. Maybe some rotation wingers down the line, but I think that's a later issue to address. But I was asked to scout Anthony, so I did. Jack Clark, again, I won't be bringing him back, but I was just looking at players that are good enough to get out of the championship again from the relegated sides. Same can be said for Hamed Traore. Franca, we were looking at last season. Same with Brooks. We were also looking at Wheatley. I have looked at some striker options. We've got Nel from the Portuguese league. Could be a good option, would come in as rotation. He'd basically be replacing our bench option. And within a season or two, potentially his rating could match or eclipse Seller, and he works his way into the starting 11. Washington would be the same vibe. Expensive on the wages, but would be fantastic competition for Seller. Bit of a different style player. Pretty quick, only 3-star, so we'd want to up that 4-star skill and weak foot where possible. Get the passing up just a little bit as well, and I think his stamina's a touch low, but was suggested Washington by a few people throughout last season, so could be a good signing for us. Oscarson, good young talent in the Spanish league with Sociedad, could be a really good player to maybe bring in, again, as that bench rotation and somebody to eventually eclipse Seller. Same here with Ilanikena, that's how I'm going to say it. Ilanikena. He's going to come in potentially and be, again, good competition, but £6 million, only one rated less than Seller, and 18. I'd imagine he eclipses him pretty quickly if he gets his chance. So that would be with the intention of Seller dropping out the team pretty quick if we signed Ilanikena. Demina looks phenomenal, by the way. This lad looks great. 19, 71 rated with 76 shooting is crazy to me. He's somebody I'd love to pick up and bring him through, whack him on that bench and have him potentially come off the bench and do a job. Fleming was suggested to us again by Rob. Thank you again, Rob, for the suggestion. Really good option for us. He would be higher rated than Seller, so I think the expectation would be that he'd start over Seller. But it's only a little increase on Seller's rating. 5.5 mil though, so not crazy expensive. Could be an option for us to look at. Delap, relegated. Again, he was going to be in this shortlist for me. I was going to have a look at him. But again, I do feel like Delap is maybe overdone in these style career modes. So I won't be upset if you guys don't want to see Delap signed because I feel like it happens very, very often in English career modes. Akpom, could we bring him back to England and see if he gets another chance? Obviously, he had that really good one season. Was it at Borough? I think it might have been. I can't remember. But had that real good one season. Went off to Ajax. Has been doing okay for himself by all sounds of things. Can we bring him back here and see if he could do a job for us? Same kind of vibe as Fleming. Maybe not the profile specifically of a striker we're looking for, but would do a job. Can't really turn our nose up at that. Vinicius is a free agent, having left Fulham. Could be an interesting one for us. Would definitely be on the bench. Wouldn't be our starting option because he's kind of a similar vibe to Frey in that he's not quick. Get the ball to him though. See if he can find the back of the net. That's the vibe on that one. Bruna could again be a youth option for us on the bench. Is quite low rated, so we would need him to start to get through the gears quite quickly. It could even be we buy him in to loan him out, but that might be a waste. We might not have the money or the capabilities to achieve that kind of thing. Awoniyi could be an option to come in and start for us. 77 rated, obviously at the relegated Nottingham Forest. Could be a good option for us. Offer something a bit different up top. Not slow, but not rapid. About the same pace, I believe, as Salah. Good finishing, though, and good physicality. Could be an option. And then Huerta, we were already looking at last season. He was a free agent, but he's now joined Celta Vigo. Boys, we got through it. Fair play to all of you who stuck it out with us. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my TED Talk. Like I said, a couple of signings we're going to do straight out the gate. And the first man is going to be Karamoko Dembele. I said that I'd sign him. We're going to sign him. We're spending more than the 1.4 that we actually spent in real life. I'm going to get him as near to 3.5 as I possibly can. I'm going to offer 3 out the gate and see what they say to £3 million. Sam Field is simply not leaving Queen's Park Rangers this season, for the very least. I've got no intention of Sam Field leaving. 3.5 with a sell-on clause. Oh, I wouldn't actually say no to a sell-on clause. What if I say 3 with that 25%? The tension is high. You know what? 3.25, 23%. Cool. I'm okay with that. It's not mental. It's not a huge deal for us in regards to it. But here's the secret, boys. I've got no intention of selling him. Have whatever sell-on clause you want. He wants important, which is absolutely fine. I've got no interest of him not being an important player. Add that 5 years to his contract because I want him here for the long term. As I said, I've got no interest in selling the lad. His current wage is 14. I'm going to offer him 18.5. He's probably going to want more than that. Offer him 18.5 and I'll offer him 80 grand. Again, I think he's going to want more, but I think it's high enough that he's not going to storm out. Okay. Yeah, he wanted a little bit more. That's okay. Let's see if he'll take 20. I think that's a good amount of money, mate. 20 grand a week. 25. I feel like you asked for less. Well, I swear it was like 23 you asked for. 21. Come on. You know what? Sign a bonus off. That's fine. You can see £37,000 we're going to have after this. So we've still got money. We've still got cash to spend. And Karamoko Dembele is back in the blue and white of QPR. Happy to have got him through the door again, even though realistically he should have been here anyway. But that's fine. Really happy to get him into the club again. And it's good to have Dembele back in the squad. It was a signing, as I said, we were going to make. I had no intentions of him not coming back. I'd have been annoyed at myself if I hadn't managed to get him through the door again. That's how little he is, by the way. The assistant coach physically couldn't reach down to his shoulder, but Dembele is back in the blue and white. I'm going to sort kit numbers as well. Once we've made all of our signings, I'll go through all the kit numbers and confirm that properly, but Dembele will stay in the number 7 shirt like he is in at the moment in real life. But there's Dembele through the door. Welcome back, mate. We do get ourselves an A rating. Very happy with that indeed. And I think justified as well. I think we did really well to get him on a nice cheap deal there. But next signing through the door is going to be Twanzebe on the free as well. Really happy with that. Predicted 30 to 46 grand on wages. Jesus. I'm going to offer him important. He might want crucial, which is fine because realistically, he is a crucial first team player for us. That's okay. See if he wants 5 years. I wouldn't be upset with 4. But he's happy with 5. Get rid of that release clause. 27 grand, 15 clean sheets. You know what, mate? I don't think I'm going to get that many clean sheets. Let me just take the wages down a touch. Let's see if he's just willing to go to like 24. And then I'm happy with the rest of that. 24. Lovely, jubbly. Another new signing through the door. Twanzebe, straight in the club. Again, this is going to be this is what this episode is. This episode is a plethora of me going, here's a bunch of players we're going to look at. Let's sign some. And then we'll go a couple of days through and just see if we can get any players leaving as well to potentially bring a little bit of extra cash flow through. But Twanzebe makes his way into the club now as well as we get our second signing of this season, number 2. It's going to be a big turnaround. I'm not quite planning on doing an Nottingham Forest. I'm not quite planning on having 50 new players come in. I'm not quite planning on becoming a Chelsea and having 3,500 players that need to go out on loan. But I would like some decent squad depth, and I'd like some players that are going to come in and offer something for us in this first team and build on something. I want something to build on here, and hopefully Twanzebe can be a big part of that. We know this is going to be an A because all free agents are But I'm very happy with that. Twanzebe, welcome to the club, my dude. And welcome to the first team. Signing one centre-back is all well and good, but we need to sign two. And that is exactly what we're going to do. And Joseph Gardner wants to be important. Oh, I was hoping you'd say regular rotation. You know what? We can make important work. We can make important work, and we're going to make important work. Like I said, the intention was potentially to loan him out unless you guys would like to see us sign another centre-back, like a bigger marquee centre-back, in which case we will sell Dunn and or Amati to make that happen. He wants 94 grand. I'm going to remove the bonus because he's going to play. He is going to get the minutes. He'll be somebody that comes off the bench if he doesn't go out on loan. So he is going to get some game time. Let me just take this down to like 125. I reckon that's okay. That is okay. So we do make another signing. Gardner through the door. So we've signed ourselves two new centre-backs and we have re-signed Karamoko Dembele. So 3 players through the door already. And we're on day number 1. We're not messing around. These players are coming through. They're coming in thick and fast. And I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely here for these signings. I think these are going to be huge players for us. And again, I think all 3 of these will be here for a good period of time. Twanzebe being the oldest and most experienced player, but realistically, we have signed 2 young players who have got a real prospect to be here for the long term and add to this team. So Gardner, welcome to the team. He's currently got the number 20 shirt. Can't guarantee that is what he will keep, but we are looking pretty good right now with these players coming in. And of course, it's a third A. I've had a thought with the keeper situation. I've had a thought. I know how much money we've got left over. We've got about £35 million. So looking at our midfielder options, obviously, if we were to sign the free agent, who was the free agent, Tom? That's a very good question, Tom. Let me answer that for you. If we were to sign the free agent by the name of Paredes, then obviously we don't need the amount of money that marquee signing is going to cost us. But if by the time this goes live, you guys don't decide on Paredes, or if by the time this goes live, he's already found a club, then I will have to spend that money as well. So him being a free agent doesn't change anything. So I'm going to keep in mind like around 12-13 million pounds for the CDM signing that I want you guys to help me make the decision on who to buy, because on the majority, -2, minus Adams and minus I think it's Danilo, I reckon 12 million pounds will be roughly enough, give or take, like £500,000 or whatever. And it might even be that they're cheaper, because some of those options are cheaper. We'll be able to pick up like Gray for about £10 million, be able to pick up Kroll for about £6-7 million. So let's just say in my head, I'm keeping £12 million aside. We've done the centre back now. We don't really need fullbacks. I think we're okay, in the fullback department for now. We might go and pick up like a free agent or a relatively young player. We could pick up like a wrench or something. I'm not too sure, but potentially that's not going to cost us too much money. The only other position that I think outside of the DM that's going to cost us a pretty penny is going to be the striker. But it, again, is dependent on who we sign. And I would quite like to sign Demina, and he is going to be my next purchase. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Geronimi Demina. I'm going to just call him Demina because I'm probably going to say his name wrong a plethora of times. So I'm going to go for him because I think he's a good little talent. I think he's a good player that would be great potential goal scoring material down the line for us. So going to go in and try and pick him up. I'm going to go out the gates. I'm going to just offer 3 mil. I think is a good realistic amount of money to work on. I've just signed Twanzebe. No. Stop yourself. Let's just go 3.1 and just see what he's willing to offer or what they're willing to negotiate to. With a 7% sell-on fee, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We're going to go for it. Demina, 3.15, 7% sell-on fee. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Good potential pickup there. Let's get those wages sorted. Okay, so I'm going to offer him... sporadic, but realistically rotation is what he's going to get, and that's fine because he will be on the bench pretty much every single game because he will be our number 2 option. 5-year contract is absolutely fine with me, my friend. No release clause. Goals, I'll let you have your bonus if you score some goals. That's okay. I might just bump it down a little bit though. And then let's just take these wages down a touch as well and see if you're willing to agree to that. Okay, signing bonus is a little bit lower, but those wages are still a touch high for me, my friend. 17. You know what? That's fine. Rather than lose out on this signing, we'll take that for demeanor. 19 grand a week, 71 rated, and again, 76 shooting while being quick. You often see these players that are maybe a bit slow and have that higher shooting stat. This guy is quick and has a higher shooting stat. I think he's a really good option for us here. And I think £3 million is going to prove to be, as far as I'm aware, a bargain. I think it will be a really, really good, cheap pickup here. And I think that this is going to end up being a real sort of surprisingly good signing. That's my prediction here. That's where I'm going to guess, is that this is going to be one of those signings that we look at down the line 20-30 episodes from now and go, £3 million for him, what a pickup. But Demeanor, welcome to QPR, our 4th new signing. Let's see what rating we got on this one. It's another A. Best possible deal could have been 3, but again 3.2. I'm absolutely here for that, and he is going to be on the bench. He's on more money than Seller, by the way. That's what I'm talking about when I say these players are going to want some wage increases that we've got in the club right now. But I'm not going to make any more signings right here, right now. My thought process, personally, is that Kelleher is going to be the keeper I'm looking to go for. I'm absolutely fine to go for Rushworth, Schwab, or Bazunu. I think Kelleher is the keeper I would like to pick up, though. £12 million, there or thereabouts. 78 rated, comes in as a big improvement. Nardi becomes the rotation, the cup keeper. Or if he starts to whinge about it, we could end up selling him, which would be the less preferable. But I think Kelleher coming into that first team spot, what a signing that would be. And then the CDM position, like I say, I'm absolutely willing to leave that into your guys' hands. But we can afford the best keeper option we've got in Kelleher. And by best, I just mean like rating and stuff. And the best CDM option we've got, which again, I'm talking about rating, in Tyler Adams. So I've left it in a way that we can sign literally the best, highest rated, most expensive, whichever way you want to word it, options from both those 2 positions. But also, if the general consensus is that we go for some of these slightly lower rated, lower price players, we've got a little bit of cash to play with as well. So we have got that option. But looking at how long I've been recording for, I'm going to call this one here for now. I was going to go forward a couple of days and potentially see if any signings come in for some players. I'm going to just call this one here. I'm going to round up the episode because I've been filming for an hour and 20 minutes. It's getting near to my bedtime as well. So we're going to call this one here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed and hopefully you guys agree that the signings we have made are good signings that come in and really do make some genuine improvements to this squad. Because I think so. I think that these players come in and make this squad look stronger, which is the whole purpose of what obviously we are looking to do here. We're looking to make this squad better and better with every season and with every signing, which I think is what we've done. Great centre-back option, both for the bench and for the starting 11. We brought back in our first choice right mid, and we've got ourselves a really good potential youth striker. So let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that you think we should change. Again, help with the CDM and CDM and goalkeeper situations. Both much appreciated. Let me know your favourites, and I will go sort of with the general consensus in the chat. And if there's a tie or people aren't sure, then I'll input my thoughts as well, and we'll make those signings in the next episode. But yeah, leaving a like supports me a whole lot, helps the video, the channel, the series, and everything a whole bunch. If you're new, hit the sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime they upload a video. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. Take care, and come on you Ars.